welcome to the Five-A-Side podcast. It's been a midweek of game cancellations, so we've only got 2 games for you this evening. Kilmarnock 0, Motherwell 1, and St Mirren 0, Celtic 4. After that, we've all done a bit of a challenge, but we'll get onto that when we get round to that. I'm joined by Kelly superfan Billy Kirkpatrick.
Oh yes, hello, welcome.
Mr. Hun Undercover Matthew Thompson.
Good evening, nice to be here.
Couldn't think of a nickname for him, so Sugar Tits Craig Gregor.
All right.
And and Mr. Entertainment Jimmy Dewar.
Bonjour.
So it has been. We're expecting 5 games this midweek, and 3 of them got called off in the wintry conditions. So we'll jump into the first game that happened, and it was Kilmarnock continuing their dreadful form. 0, Motherwell 1. Billy Kirkpatrick, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, last 2 games I have ranted on about how dreadful Kelly have been. Tommy Wright came in Monday, and you know what? For the most part, he got the defence more organised. So you have to give credit to him there. They looked defensively more structured as a team. They didn't look at 6s and 7s all the time. But he has got a massive job in his hands to transform the attack. Strikers were, nothing short of woeful. 52 crosses Kelly had, no end product. No strikers. When your top goal scorer is a 37-year-old Chris Burke, you are really clutching at straws to try and stay in the division when you need goals to win games. But to be fair, give credit to them. Defensively, they did look much better. Didn't look as if they were going to concede 6 goals a game. Motherwell weren't great, but got the job done. So can't argue probably too much with the result. I think Motherwell showed more potency in the final third, which probably resulted in their victory.
Yeah, it was better though from Kilmarnock. At least I think I was a Kilmarnock fan. I'd at least say it was better than it's been the last couple of weeks. At least when we watched the games. But I think, as you were saying, it's the quality in the final third, and we don't have any more transfer windows at all. But even though they had a lot of the ball and a lot of crosses, they didn't really look like scoring at any point, or at least not to me.
There was one point, I think it was Kabamba, just had like an open shot about 6 yards out, and he just smashes it so wide. I don't even think it would have went, if it was on target, I think it would have went over. It was terrible. And from someone that Kelly fans rave about, I just didn't just see anything.
I think we
struggle
to find any Kelly fans that rave about any of their players right now. To be honest.
Well, that's true. But
to me, it's crazy why they get rid of Eamon Brophy to St Mirren, a guy who, didn't have the best of seasons so far, but he's the type of guy that might have scored a few goals to keep them up. I don't think Kabamba's that type of striker, and although he's a very big guy, if he can't score from 52 crosses, I think there's a couple problems.
I'm not saying it's a...
Well, to be fair to him, they weren't all for him.
No.
Not saying it's a bad, bad thing for Kelly.
I wouldn't really blame...
Chris Boyd would be better up there, but he's...
and we've lost him.
He's 45.
Craig's gone. Anyways,
the thing is, anyway, it's to be fair to Kelly, they were always going to lose Brophy anyway, so because that's a pre-contract to St Mirren, but sending him out on loan is probably their best option. They'll get some money for him now rather than just getting completely nothing for him in the summer, and they probably wouldn't have been playing him anyway.
I don't know if there's any out of contract strikers that they can sign that will make a difference. With all due respect, they have one respectable striker and then 3 duds from the English National League, which they're not Premiership quality players.
I mean, if the offer was right, I'd give it a go. That's all I can say. I'd put the boots on.
I'm trying to think, is there any out of contract players that Kelly could sign?
I feel like Tommy Wright would love Chris Boyd back. One more year.
I think Chris Boyd's been having too many takeaways
But-
to be.
See, when you look at their list of forwards they've got, it's not terrible. Like, you could work something out. You could build something out of that. So, I don't think their problem is the quality of the striker. I think it's the overall quality of the team.
I feel recently
Yeah.
Kelly has been lacking in sort of a creative sort of midfielder. I think that's one of their biggest problems when they're having to rely heavily on 37-year-old Chris Burke to be the guy to sprint down the wing and always try look to be the guy to create things.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He's 37 as well. Like, he's not going to be able to keep doing it week in, week out. He will get to a point where he's just going to be like, I can't play tonight. My legs are fucked.
No, you just do a Scott Brown and you just play anyway.
Yeah, well, Kelly can't afford injections, so
No, it's probably there'll be certain kind of injections going on in Kilmarnock. I'm telling you.
Not the type we can speak about on stream.
not
No.
sporting kinds, no.
No. But credit to where it's due for Motherwell. It was a good little goal. It was a nice pass from Tony Watton, and the goal was put
And
away pretty well.
convincing finish from Campbell.
Yeah. So I'd say Motherwell were worth their 3 points. They've
Got to
kind of
say-
they've had their struggles,
Got to
but
say, it
they've
was
been good the last sort of few games.
even though Billy said that they've improved defensively, it was a very poor positionally from Hunstrap to the Motherwell goal. It just left so much space.
I know,
I've never liked the look of him, by the way. See, anytime I've seen him playing, I don't see it. I don't know why he's a football player.
I think Rossi's are better centre half than Hunstrup, in my opinion. He got left out of the team.
yeah, I think though they're making less mistakes defensively, which is a sign of Tommy Wright's defensive organisation. They at least look
Yeah.
semi-structured at points, which is
I mean,
improvement. So I
one
think
defensive
they'll-
howler. Yeah, 1 in 90 minutes is serious improvement from Kilmarnock. So
Oh,
let's
yeah.
see how it goes at the weekend. I don't know if there's much else to say about that game.
Not really.
No.
Apart from Motherwell deserved to win it.
Yeah, they did.
Just because Kelly are so bad.
I still think Kelly
At the
will
moment.
stay up, though.
Me too.
I reckon Ross County still will go down. That's still my prediction.
If we quickly just look at our predictions from that game, one of us predicted a Kilmarnock win, and that was Mr. Dewar. Predicted them to win 2-1. So
Well, maybe if they
That was a bit of a
convert
bust for you.
some of their crosses, then
you don't convert crosses.
well, Kelly certainly don't.
Two of
No,
us
they don't.
predicted draws, and Matt and Billy, and me and Craig both predicted a 3-0 Motherwell win, which obviously didn't happen, but
Yeah,
we got the win right.
it wasn't quite as convincing as we predicted, but got the result right. So
I think it was a convincing 1-0 though, a comfortable 1-0. I think everyone against Kelly's going to be comfortable at the moment though.
yeah, well,
We'll see.
they don't exactly have an easy game at the weekend, do they?
How they do according to my predictions.
So the other game that was on was St Mirren 0, Celtic 4, or as I would call it, a Tom Rogic masterclass. What did you think about this one, Matt?
Yeah, one thing I would say watching quite a lot of the game is I think the scoreline's moderately generous, but it was a really good game of football, especially from Tom Rogic. There was quite a lot of good play. Obviously, you see that with the first goal. He was sort of the main threat as well, and he's taken it well. And yeah, all round it was a good performance from him, and most of the team didn't really look in too much trouble at any point.
Yeah, I kind of agree with it being it's maybe a generous scoreline. kind of, I don't want to say flattering, but it wasn't very pretty the first half. And I think Neil Lennon said that in his post game interview. He didn't think the first half it was sort of clicking and anything was really going for us. But the second half, the first 15 minutes of the second half was almost 10 times better than the first half in its whole. I know we didn't score in that 15 minutes, but just everything seemed to work a bit better, and passing was really nice and smooth.
To be fair, when you go in at half time and give the referees a payment for the second half penalty, it was always going to be a good result in the end.
Makes you pass better. Makes you pass better when you know you're going to get a penalty.
That's it.
Celtic got a penalty. I think we're all in reasonable agreement that we're not too sure whether it is, especially after further viewing of it. Billy?
I've certainly seen them given, but not for me. Contact, yes. Is it a foul? No.
No, it's not a penalty for me at all. So that's two fortunate penalties in as many weeks. I'll take it.
But we'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I still feel Celtic did enough to win the game. They're going to win the game anyway, in my opinion. I thought some of their passing was a lot sharper and their movement was a lot better in the second half. They played like a team hungry for points. But in fairness, I don't think St Mirren played too badly. I think the score kind of flatters Celtic. Like they just went ham after 80 minutes and just couldn't stop scoring. Essentially,
it was a brighter sign, like a better display than we've seen to actually like force it on. We got the injury to Stephen Welsh, and then we had to bring on Shane Duffy. And I reckon that's what's inspired the players to go out and score 3 more goals, because they knew that something bad might have happened. But yeah, the passing was much better in the second half, and I think the David Turnbull goal kind of like sort of epitomised that, because it was quite nice passing build-up play, and then I think it's McGregor plays the ball over the top of the defence to Christie.
Yep.
Who looks like, I thought he was going to strike it, and he kind of like takes a touch and another touch, and it bobbles off him, and David Turnbull's just there at the side to slot it into the net quite convincingly.
No, I agree.
I don't know whether you'd give the assist to Christie for that, but
well, they haven't on flash scores. That's all I can say.
yeah, it took a bit of a bounce off him, didn't it?
Yeah. Just want to wish Stephen Welsh the best. Hope it's a speedy recovery, because it looked a sore one.
It did look a sore one.
it did.
I seen someone tried to say it should be a red card. I don't understand. How, yes, he's late in, but it's never a red card.
Just unlucky.
It's just unfortunate. The guys went for the ball. It's just mistimed.
Mm-hmm.
It's equally unfortunate Celtic will now have to play Shane Duffy in the run-in.
You don't know that though. You don't know that because we don't know the severity of the injury.
True.
I liked Tom Rogic, but playing Tom Rogic sacrifices David Turnbull at his best position, dropping him to that sort of side number 8 role with Callum McGregor on the other side. I feel, I don't know, like Tom Rogic played well, so I can't really slate him, but David Turnbull, that's his best position, and he kind of, you can tell a little bit he's a bit worse, or not worse, less influential when he plays off the side there, isn't he?
I've got it written down. When Christie came on, I didn't think it would work with Celtic playing with 3 attacking midfielders in the pitch, but it did, and they scored 3 goals after that. To be fair, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And they all linked up for most of those goals as well.
Yeah,
which was something that was nice to see.
The third goal I think came from Brown winning the tackle, and then Rogic to Turnbull to Rogic, then Rogic to Christie, then Christie to the net.
Christie. Yep, it was a good finish as well into the back post.
It was a good finish.
Put it away.
I'm not going to let myself get carried away, but Scott Brown having consistently okay performances. Is he back?
Okay.
No, he's not. Fair.
Is he back?
There's the answer to your question.
I don't know. The problem is though is that the more like half decent performances I see him put in, it makes me think he'll be back next year, and that'll be him.
I don't. Yeah, I think he's one. He won't leave in the summer. I don't think. But I definitely don't think he'll be playing. I definitely don't think he'll be playing anywhere near as much next year.
He will still be there next year as a player manager. To be fair.
Yeah.
God.
Do you think he will stay? Obviously, Celtic's biggest season for probably years didn't do it. Do you think he's going to stay next season, or do you think it's time for him to retire?
I think it's time for him to retire, but I think he'll be there.
Scott Brown's not the sort of player who's just going to have a bad season then retire straight away. The way I see it, I could see him staying at Celtic and then he'll go to the MLS or something. He'll go tear it up there because that's a child's league.
MLS.
Imagine him trying to talk.
It's nice and sunny in Florida.
Hi, I'm Bruni.
I wish you got his accent right there, but that was terrible.
If you close your eyes, I bet you think, "Wow, we'll get Scott Brown in this podcast."
Don't have to close my eyes. You look just like him. You live off the same diet as well.
Oh dear. So prediction wise, I was close. I had 4-1 for that game.
Well done, but you were wrong.
I was quite close as well.
4-1 was wrong. Mr. Dewar got himself another 0 points with his 1-1. Didn't happen, bud.
Celtic didn't get the goals. It might have done.
Was it Billy? Oh, that was Craig. Craig predicted 1-0 St Mirren. Yeah. Good
I was close.
I'm telling you, but
if it wasn't for that penalty,
I
would have finished 1-0.
Close with my 7-0. Yep.
Can't argue with that logic.
You know what? Yep. So on the predictions front, I've come out of this week with the most points from the two games, 4 points after getting 2 results correct. Not results, yeah, results.
Yep.
Everyone else on 2 apart from Dewar, who got 0. An embarrassing performance. What do you have to say?
No comment.
You're not going to apologise to your mum or anything?
Sorry, Mum, I did not get any points in the five-a-side podcast.
There you go. I'm sure she'll appreciate it.
But there we go.
She'll appreciate it though, nonetheless. So the weekend we've got some games. Hopefully we've got some games actually. I'm going to say hopefully.
11 of them.
Yeah, but hopefully, because we don't know with the call-offs with the cold weather at the moment.
Yeah.
That's,
Livingston are playing away,
I was just about to
so
say
that one's on.
That's true.
Well, it is in Dundee, so I don't know.
Yeah, but the other team. So the first game I've got on the list here is Aberdeen St Mirren. Would you like to give us your prediction, Craig?
I'm going to go with 2-0 Aberdeen.
2-0 Aberdeen. Cool. Billy.
Yes. Sorry. I don't know. Well, St Mirren bounce back. They're going to a slump. I think Jude again. I think Jim Goodwin has got the St Mirren, bell drilled. I think Aberdeen struggling up front. I'm gonna go 1-0 St Mirren.
Mr. Dewar, what's your prediction?
My prediction is 1-1.
A thrilling one each. And Matt.
I'm going to go 1-0 Aberdeen. I think they're eventually going to score a goal, so we'll go with this weekend.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Aberdeen are due a goal, aren't they?
They've been due a goal for a while.
I know. Yeah, I'm going to go with you on the 1-0 Aberdeen. So we'll move on to Dundee United at Livingston. Is Craig there? Does he want to give us his prediction?
I will say... 1-0 1 each.
1 each. Billy.
2-1 Livingston.
Yeah.
Is it me next? Is it Drew?
Yeah.
Drew.
Sure.
Go on, you
there
go.
we go. It's 2-0 Livingston.
And I'm going to go 0-0. I think that'll be the snooze fest of the week.
I don't know. I feel like Livingston might bounce back, so I'm going to say 2-1 Livingston. Next game, Motherwell Hamilton. Craig.
Well, we talk about Snooze Fest and then we bring up Motherwell Hamilton. No.
Bill.
1 each.
Hamilton are going to win 3-0.
3 goals for Hamilton.
Crikey.
It's going to be a Hamilton masterclass.
I also think it's going to be a Hamilton masterclass, and they'll lose 2-0. So that's how that's going.
That's how masterclass works, to be fair.
That's how the
for Hamilton.
masterclass works. I'm gonna go 3-0 Motherwell. Which takes us on to Rangers Kilmarnock. Craig.
Well, Kilmarnock are just dreadful, so it can't.
Right, how many nil then?
5-0.
Billy, how many nil?
3-0.
I'm going to say
Sure, how many nil?
2-0.
He's a Rangers fan as well. Matt, how many nil?
1, but for Kilmarnock. I'm putting it. That's what I'm going with.
Just give him the nil plan.
I'm telling you right. I'm telling you right now. Tommy Wright has got the right stuff to get a result against
Kelly-
Do you know what the check who the referee is this week, man?
No,
Actually, give me a minute. Come back to me.
Right, Kelly are gash. Rangers are gash.
Actually undefeated this season.
Yeah, but
It's,
they're in a rut. Okay, they drew with Hamilton. I'm gonna say 2-1 Kelly. Yep.
It's the same ref that gave us our dodgy penalty last night. So yeah, 1-0.
We'll move quickly to Ross County Hibs. Craig.
I'm going to go for 3-1 to Hibs.
2-1
Okay.
Hibs.
Oh Jesus, that was
I'm going to
quick.
go straight in there. 2-1
To the
Hibs.
point.
I'm also 2-1 Hibs.
I'm also 2-1 Hibs.
Is everyone 2-1 Hibs?
Are you 2-1 Hibs?
1-0 Hibs.
We're in agreement there at least.
Sunday's game, St Johnstone Celtic. Craig, if you'd like the audio.
I'm going to go
cue.
for. That's a tough one. 2 each.
2 each.
Billy.
I'm going to go for it. I've predicted Celtic's results the last 3 weeks. 2 games. I'm going to go for it again. 2-1 Celtic.
Okay.
I'm going to say 4-0 Celtic.
I've got
Matt?
3-0 Celtic.
And I've got 8-0 Celtic.
8-0.
Yeah, I'm known for their 8-0ers.
You know, I went 7-0 midweek and we scored 4. So if I say 8, we might score 5.
That's true.
That takes us down to the Championship and down to Dumfries. Queen of the South v Hearts. Craig.
Well, if and last week's anything to go by, Hearts will get some dodgy penalties. 3-0 Hearts.
Somebody's not better. Bill.
4-1 Hearts.
Sure.
I'm going to say 1-0 Hearts.
Matt.
I've got a 3-1, 3-1 Hearts.
I thought you were going to say 3-1 Queen of the South. I'm
No.
going to say 2-1 Hearts. Wraith v Air, Craig.
2-0 Air.
I like it.
Bill.
1 each.
2-0 to Wraith.
Yep.
I also have one
Uh-huh.
each. Yeah, 1 each as well.
I'm going to take 2-1 to Air. Inverness Morton, Craig.
That game's not going
1
ahead, is
each.
it?
Probably not.
Let's be honest, that game's not going ahead.
1 each.
1 each. Billy.
0-0 if it goes ahead.
Stuart.
Inverness 2-0, but it's going to get postponed.
I mean,
Matt.
do they even play football anymore? I think they've just started doing log throwing or something like that.
They've actually repurposed the pitch, yes.
Yeah, well, they're going to win 2-1 if they decide to play football.
Which you won't. So.
No.
That's going to be a slender 1-0 win on the ice hockey pitch for Inverness.
Yep.
Dunfermline Dundee.
3-2 to Dunfermline.
Ooh, I don't know. 2 each.
6-2 to Dundee.
Christ.
I've got 2-1. 2-1 to Dundee.
3-1 to Dundee. That is the wrong way around. Yep, 3-1 to Dundee. Alloa Arbroath to the last game.
Christ.
2-0 Alloa.
Bill.
Sorry, I really. Oh God, I don't know. God, it's a tough one. I think it could really go either way, and I think in the end, Arbroath have enough. 2-1 Arbroath.
Arbroath 3, Alloa 0.
Yeah, I've got 2-0 Alloa as well. I'll agree with Craig.
1 each. Yeah, 1 each draw. So that's all the predictions done. I've actually missed one for Billy. What was Billy's prediction for Dundee United via Livingston?
24-9, I think he said.
24.
That's exactly what I went for. What did I go for? I can't even remember.
24-9.
2-1
2-1 Livingston. I better change that from 24-9. Right, perfect. So we'll see how we do with that on Monday. And now it's time for something I thought of because there was only 2 games to talk about, just to sort of fill time. But it's turned out to be quite exciting. So each of us have, over the last day, taken time and built ourselves a premiership sort of fantasy team. We've each picked one player from each team, minus one team, in the premiership to take a position in our team. And I'm hoping we've got some interesting teams cropping up here. And I think everyone's went for a different club to miss a player from, if I'm correct.
I believe we might have. I'm not 100% sure though, but we'll see
True.
once we get into them.
Does anyone want to volunteer to go first?
How are we doing it? Are we doing? We all say our goalkeepers, or are we all saying like our full team, and then the next person says our full team?
I'd probably say your full team, and then...
Is Matt still doing a big Brownian?
Well, he must be. I was just going to ignore that.
It's his turn this week.
He's back. Yeah, I'd say we say the whole team, and then like each take our turn, say your formation, say your team, and the team who you do not have a player from, you can take their manager to manage your team.
Oh
Oh
dear.
no.
Can
So
I redo it?
Actually, that's fine.
who would like to go first?
You know what?
Right,
I'll
okay.
do it. No, Billy, on you go, Bill. Thank God.
Oh, right.
Billy's going to
Okay.
go
Matt
first
back
then.
from
Right, so
Brownstown.
here we go. I have went for a traditional 4-4-2. And it's quite an attack-minded 4-4-2. With a very kind of fluid midfield. So, in goals, I have Alan McGregor. For me, by far, the best keeper in the league by a considerable
Woo.
margin. At right back, I have Nicky Devlin from Livingston, who I think's been a very successful right back over his career, but more so this season. He's really been a staple part of the Livingston team that's went on that good run. It's two centre backs. I have young guy Jamie Hamilton from Hamilton. I think 18 years old, playing part of that back three. He has been by far the best out of those three compared to his more experienced professionals. I think he's shown incredible maturity for somebody so young.
Being the best, only conceded 800 goals.
To be fair, he's not a fault
I
for
think-
a lot of them.
I don't think you can blame just one person for. I think as an individual he's been particularly sound. Other centre back is the centre back from St Johnstone, Liam Gordon. I think he's been very rock solid at the back. Individually again, this is an individual to form a team. That's who I would say I would have in. Strong, physical. Somebody that you want to command the back line. At left back, I have Jamie Robson from Dundee United, young left back. Again, Dundee United not been a good run of form, but again, he's showing real maturity for somebody so young. Up and down the left wing, trying to get crosses in.
Do you
playing
know?
at left wing back.
We
Very
know.
funny. left wing back or left back. Just a good kind of variety. Well, right mid, I have Chris Burke from Killie, which I know, considering that I've ranted on for
I'm glad you
weeks,
know, and we
seems
don't know.
and I think he's. I can't really think of what I'm trying to say. Saying it. I think he's been a staple of the Kilmarnock highlights of the season, although there is not many of them. He's their top scorer and top playmaker, so definitely have him.
It's okay, Billy. I don't think people will notice.
My two centre mids, I have Jamie McGrath from St Mirren, the Irish midfielder, who I think has been a standout for St Mirren this season. Really creative midfielder, not afraid to go on the ball and pass and move through. Dictate the play. My other centre midfield is Lewis Ferguson from Aberdeen. Again, good dead ball specialist, somebody that can create the play and demand it. Although I've picked better strikers for him to work with, so they can maybe actually get more assists. And I think he'd be a good addition to my team so far. Left midfield, I have Alan Campbell from Motherwell, who I think, again, he's played in the variety of the midfield positions, the right, the central, and the left. I've opted him out on the left for this formation. A standout performer for Motherwell this season. Really, again, a kind of creative young midfielder that will, drive the team on. And up front, I have Odsonne Edouard from Celtic. Again, great striker. You want him in your team, first name. And Kevin Nisbet from Hibs, again, showing his worth in the Premiership with the goals, and those two combining for over 25 goals this season. That's who I'd want up front, which leaves in my manager, John Hughes from Ross County.
Mm-hmm. Good manager.
Yeah,
It's a good one to have.
that's who I went for.
That's fine.
Fair enough. Since you were so keen to do it, Matt, I'll let you go next.
That's absolutely fine. Right. So in nets, I've got Danny Rogers from Kilmarnock because I thought they've just been that good at stopping goals going in this season. No, honestly, he's been injured for like the last. I can't remember how many games it is. It's like 4 or 5 or something. Basically, when their really shit form started. So I put him in nets because I had to choose between him and the Ross County goalie. And that's what I went with. Right back, I've got Nicky Devlin, someone that I've seen at Ayr when he was playing there, and he's continued his good form into the Premier League where he's been good this season. Centre halves, I've also went for Jamie Hamilton at Hamilton. As Billy said, he's a young guy that's actually really showing a lot of the players around him how to play. Although it's not really hard to stand out at Hamilton, he's making do at the moment. Other centre half, I've got Mugabe from Motherwell. It was really a toss up of either of the two Motherwell centre halves, but I'm pretty sure Craig has the other one, so I've went for him just to be different. Left back, I've went for Borna Barisic. His average of about 417 crosses a game is what gave him the nod. So it was either him or my best pal Greg Taylor, and I've decided to go with Borna Barisic. I should say that my formation is in sort of testimonial to our pro clubs team. It is a 4-2-2, and with the missing team being Ross County, it is Yogi's Angels. So that's who we've got. That's my team name. I have sort of noticed that the midfield positions don't really match up, but none of them are wingers, so we're going with it. So I've got Lewis Ferguson from Aberdeen. There's not really much good to say about Aberdeen at the moment, but he has always sort of stood out as a decent player. Not long in, I've got Jackson Irvine from Hibs. He's been really impressive since he's been playing, and I think he'll continue that going forward. I've also got McGrath from St Mirren. St Mirren are doing really well this year, and I think he's been a big part of that, so he deserves the credit. And then Ali McCann from St Johnstone. When I was doing this earlier, I did say I had 3 St Johnstone players in it. I was obviously that desperate to get them in my team because they're that good. But I managed to narrow it down to just one, and I've went with Ali McCann. So if he lets me down this weekend,
Well, Ali
Dick.
McCann's a man.
He is the man. And then 2 strikers, obviously. Odds-on Edward from Celtic. I think that speaks for itself. Best striker in the country. Didn't really look like he was trying for the first half of the season for a lot of it, but he's picking up the goals at the moment. And then Lawrence Shankland at Dundee United. Had a little bit of a tough time this season, but we know what he can do, or at least we've seen what he can do plenty of times being down in there. So yeah, that's my team.
Lovely stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can see Craig's raring to go there. As I was asking you, so
See it in his
I'll
eyes.
let him jump in next with his team.
Okay, well, my team, I've gone for a 4-4-2 as well, but I went for the more diamond in the middle with the holding midfielder and the cam, and the 2 centre mids. So in nets, I went for Jack Alnwick from St Mirren, who has the second top save percentage in the league, I believe. He's always been a good performer for St Mirren. He did just concede 4 goals, or almost had to take out my team for that. But I decided to keep him in. At right back, I've got Lee Hodson at Hamilton, who I actually believed was a left back, but it seems that Hamilton consistently played him at right back, so he's slotting in there. As Matt said, I do have the other Motherwell centre half of Declan Gallagher, who has always been a consistent performer at
I think he's
international
gone.
level.
Oh dear.
I've not noticed it at club level too much.
Oh, there you go.
Did I lag out?
Just a
Uh,
bit.
Where
Only
did
for
you
us,
heat
though.
up to?
No, only for us.
All we had
We'll
was,
be able to hear you in the actual recording. It'll be fine.
I know.
So
Just
as I
continue.
said, Declan Gallagher is Declan Gallagher always been a consistent performer at international level, but that's why he's got in there just for taking us to Euros.
He's also a hard cunt.
Callum, yes. Callum Morris at Ross County was he was my last player I had to try and fit in, and I had to choose between a Ross County centre half or a Kelly centre half. So that is the only reason he's in there. There's actually no other reason he's there. Like Billy, I've went for Jamie Robson at Dundee United. I really like him running down the wing. Putting in some crosses. In the holding midfield position, I went for Lewis Ferguson as well, who seems to be a common one between the teams so far. And he, like Billy said, he's a dead ball specialist. He's good at getting the balls in there. He's also good at stopping the play. It was between him and Ross McCrory, but I think Ferguson's done more. Then the two centre mids, I've got Glenn Kamara, who he's, as Jared knows, he's a great player. Linked with Juventus, so we'll see where he goes from there. Good to help Jamie Robson go up the wing and whip the crosses in. The other centre mid, we've got Murray Davidson at St Johnstone. I almost put in Ali McCann like that, but chose the other one. In the cam position, Scott Pittman, who's just been a consistent performer for Livingston this season. He's the one that's helped them mostly through their big streak, in my opinion. Up top, we've got Ozon Edward, who also seems to be a consistent pick through the teams so far. And Kevin Nisbet, who, as we all know, Billy loves him as well. Not Billy, Jura loves him as well.
Lovely stuff.
Which would leave my manager as... did I not pick from? Kelly. So Tommy Wright is my manager.
Well, there you go. An interesting team, although I missed half of it because I wasn't paying attention. So now your main man, Jura, who's probably just picked a Rangers starting 11 here.
Well, in nets is Alan McGregor, right back is James Tavernier. Sorry. I was just thinking my dream team. So in nets we have Segrist, who is the third highest save percentage behind Alan McGregor and Jack Hannock. I knew Craig stole my stat because we were talking about it yesterday.
Is this just a rehash of Pie and Bovril's stats that they put up?
No comment.
As
Right back, gone for Nicky Devlin. Obviously, feel he's doing very well. I've picked for centre half is the man who can boogie, Andy Considine himself. Feel, although he's doing well, he's doing well-ish, I guess. It's not been his greatest season, but is what it is.
Sorry, it's not his greatest season, but I'll just put him in the team anyway.
I'm thinking long term.
This is long term season.
Yeah.
I'm saying nothing.
You Billy, you put Hamilton from Hamilton in, and he's conceded 800 goals this season. But you're like, oh, but he's 18 and he's young, long term. So just let him have his long term pick.
Interrupted his men's team.
I know.
On
you go, continue.
Okay, we'll put the hands in the air for Ayer. It's my other centre half. Good.
I'm just going to mute him for like 5 minutes. I'm going to let him have his time. Right.
And then fullback is Borna Barisic. Don't need to say more than that. Now, my midfield is a bit disjointed. So results driven business, so we don't need to play a formation. We can create our own formation. So, right mid is Chris Burke. Feels got a good future ahead of him. No seriousness.
That's illegal.
He's doing really well for Kelly, considering how Kelly are playing. Midfield is Wotherspoon, again, feel he's done quite well for St Johnstone, all considering. Like everyone else, also picked Jamie McGrath. I feel he's been St Mirren's best midfielder. And I've also picked Callahan from the mighty Hamilton. Forwards, I've gone for Shaw at Ross County. I feel he's done okay when he's been called upon. And should be soon striker Kevin Nisbet. And my manager would be Graham Alexander from Motherwell.
Sorry, did you just say should be soon striker?
Should be soon Scotland striker.
Oh, right, okay. Miss Scotland. Just said should be soon striker. I thought he was a striker.
Yep.
One of these days.
Right.
No.
If anyone got any of that team, because Billy's interrupting with his laughter, good luck. No, it's fine. I got most of it. That leaves me, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start you off with my formation. I've went for a 4-2-3-1. Sort of. I did get a bit lost and put a couple players out of position, but we move. In nets, I'll start with Xander Clark from St Johnstone. I just couldn't think of another St Johnstone player to put in. And then I couldn't think of a goalkeeper, so he gets the nod. Left back, I've got Borna Barisic. He's probably the only Rangers player I could stand. And he's a very good left back. My centre halves, I've got Christopher Ayer from Celtic and Ryan Porteous from Hibs. Christopher Ayer's one of my favourite centre halves that I've watched at Celtic and can only see him going further. And Ryan Porteous is just a laugh, isn't he? I think I've copied everyone and went for Nicky Devlin at right back. I think that speaks for itself, considering we've all picked him. My midfield two, I've gone for Gary Dicker and Alan Campbell. I couldn't face having a Hamilton player in, so I went for a Kelly player, and then I got really stuck at who I was going to choose, so he got the nod. I really like Alan Campbell. He's quite similar to his drive, his energy, everything about his game I find really impressive, and he's versatile. He can play anywhere in that sort of midfield. In front of those two, I've gone for, on the left wing, Ryan Hedges from Aberdeen. On the right wing, I know he's not a winger, but again, this is when I picked a second striker and then didn't play a second striker formation. I went from Shaw from Ross County. And in the middle of them, I've went for Jamie McGrath from St Mirren. I really like the look of him. He's tenacity on the ball, and he's actually got quite a good finish on him. And finally, up top, I have Lawrence Shankland from Dundee United. He's just He's the best striker in the world. At least he was when he was at Ayr. So hopefully he picks up, and that leaves me with
Brian Rice.
Yep. I was just looking at my team figuring out. I said about 8 times that I didn't have a Hamilton player. Yes, Brian Rice. And he will gamble on this team to win the league.
You know he will.
You know he will.
You know he will. Absolutely. So did everyone have Nicky Devlin at right back?
I didn't.
Craig didn't, but
Who did you have?
I had Lee Hodson from Hamilton.
Hodson. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh well then. So
I couldn't face putting a Hamilton player in my team because they don't deserve to be in the division.
So is there any we all had?
Did we all have McGrath?
No.
I had McGrath.
No, I didn't have McGrath. I had Jack Hamlock.
So we just pretend Craig wasn't here tonight. What?
Billy is struggling.
I think it's the
I
way
don't know what he's laughing at this thing.
I'm laughing at what?
You alright, Phil?
No, I don't know if I misheard, but I thought, did Craig say, did we all have McGrath? And then Craig went, no, I had Jack Hanwick who plays in goals.
Well,
No,
yeah,
Ferg
but,
said that we all had McGrath.
No, but
yeah, but we're
what
talking
Craig
about
said
St
was
Mirren
correct. Yeah.
players.
Ah, right. Okay. I thought we were talking about midfielders.
No, I was we were talking about St Mirren players.
Well,
Sure, that was obvious.
we almost all had those two players if Craig wasn't here.
Wait, did anyone not have Borna Barisic?
Me, I had Glenn Kamara.
Are you going Kamara? Who'd you?
No, he's not a left back.
That's true, he's not a left back.
United.
I had Jamie Robson from my left back position.
Oh, okay.
Would have been my two probably picks at left back.
What
Well-
Rangers player did you pick?
I went for Alan McGregor.
Oh, so you did.
Yeah, I
That's
remember he was
right.
the first person he picked.
I would have picked at left back. I would have picked Josh Reed from Ross County, but he moved to Coventry and therefore could not pick him.
So he's
Oh,
not
what a shame.
eligible. I was actually going to pick
honestly,
Virgil van
if
Dijk for my centre half, but he actually also moved as well.
Honestly, if you asked me to do that again in 10 minutes' time, I'd pick a different team.
Yeah, same.
My
Not-
team's a team of winners.
I found it really difficult to sort of like have a player and then stick with that player for long enough to actually make a team.
Can I have my 3 St Johnson players? The team was better when I had 3 St
You
Johnson
know what,
players.
Matt, for next midweek, you can just make a St Johnson team,
That's
and
fine.
you can tell we're not making teams. Just you make a St Johnson dream team of old players and current players. So you like an all time 11 from
St Johnson 11.
You can do that.
If, it,
From
That's
my
what you're to do. That's your
historical
challenge for
knowledge
next week.
of St Johnson football.
if anyone
That's fine.
is still watching, be sure to comment what you're still listening. I'll get it
He's
right
done that
eventually.
deliberately.
Be sure to put in what 11 you guys would have. It'd be interesting to see in the comments if you guys would have different people to what we'd have.
Yeah, I think we could also do that as well with the predictions. If anybody wants to fire over what they think and see if they can get better than Ferg.
Yeah, just caught. Yep,
Have to be-
I beat his all last
It's
week.
yours one to beat. He's a low one.
Who's in the lead? Is it me and Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the betting as well.
Yeah, you're still tied for the lead on.
I mean-
15, are they?
Can't remember.
They are on. I believe they are.
15.
Yeah.
Craig, you're on
13.
13. I'm on 10.
What's Jura?
Jura's on 6.
6.
That's not very
Wow,
good.
Been
man.
left behind.
So that's us for this edition, this episode, this glorious time. So if you'd like to say goodbye and stop breathing, Craig.
Just please don't breathe.
That is not a death threat if anyone's listening.
Goodbye. Need to go sort the internet out for next week.
And his nose.
Billy,
Ciao. Goodbye.
Matt,
Yep. Bye everyone.
and Jura.
To everyone listening, au revoir.
Wow. From me, it is goodbye, good night, God bless.